Yo, what up? It's your boy Aces Galvin. Welcome to My Life Story. We are here on episode 22, and we're going to get right into it. As you guys may have remembered from the last episode, we just got finished talking about how Mia's mom was chasing me around all crazy, trying to get the boy, but she failed. This episode, we're going to be talking about essentially how I felt about that whole situation, because my emotion towards it is going to lead into everything that happens after. I'm going to tell you guys this right off the bat, all right? Number one, everything I'm about to tell you was completely unnecessary. What I should have did in these types of situations, or what y'all should do if you're ever in a similar type of situation, if you ever start harboring some type of feeling or feeling some kind of way, try to get it out. Let your person that you're dealing with, know exactly how you feel about it. Extremely important, because if you let those emotions harbor, those emotions turn into something else, which eventually turns into actions for some people. Actions of you actually going out and doing something you're not supposed to do. So let's get into it. Summing this up as quick as I can. I felt mad, pissed off. I felt like it wasn't even. I felt like I gave up mad of my life. I gave up 3 years of my life running back and forth where I could have been in college. I did all this crazy stuff that I shouldn't have done, but I put everything out on the line because, as I told y'all before, my main goal was companionship. So I put everything out on the line for this stuff. Everything out on the line for her to try to make this work. And when the time came, 3 years later, the day I waited for to have an event like that happen after that and just get screwed over like that, it just really made me feel like everything was a waste of time. It created doubt. Doubt is the most key thing to most relationships failing, is just that small bit of doubt. Maybe he's cheating on me. Maybe I shouldn't be with this person. Maybe I should be with that person. Those type of things turn into some crazy stuff. So essentially, I started feeling that doubt hard. I was like, yo, maybe I'm wasting my time. Because if it ain't changing at 18, it ain't gonna change at 21. It ain't gonna change at 24. And do I want to waste 6 years of my life? I'm like, if I can't even trust her to do what she needs to do, then what's the point? Essentially, if I can't trust her to keep her word of something so important, then what can I do? Well, I handled it incorrectly because what I should have did was went up to her and be like, yo, this is how I feel. I feel like you can't fix this. I need to leave you. And that should have left it alone. I should have broke up with her right then and there, because everything else that takes place after that was a matter of me being selfish. And I always have a saying of, when you look at anybody's choices that they make regarding you, is it a selfish choice or a selfless choice? Anything can be broken down in one of the two. So if your friend's like, yo, come pick me up from the mall, that's it. No, I'm gonna give you gas. I'm not gonna. I'll hook you up with blah blah blah. Then you already know what that is. If you have someone tell you, oh, come with me to this guy's party, or blah 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 blah, are they telling you to come because it'll benefit you, or is it telling you to come just for their own selfish reasons, even if you have a man? So let's say, girls, you have a girl that wants you to go to a party, but they know you got a man, but they're asking you to go anyway, not respecting your relationship, knowing it can potentially cause you problems, but they'll ask you anyway because they want you to go for themselves. Selfish. So essentially, with this situation with Mia, my mental thought process was very selfish. I didn't want to. I wanted to keep her as mine, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure I knew what the hell was out there. There was no easy way to do this. Now I've learned how to do it now. Like nowadays, I've learned that sometimes you just gotta let the girl go. But at that point, I didn't know that. So I was thinking to myself, well, I should be slick enough to get away with potentially thinking about getting with somebody else and seeing what I can do. That's what I was thinking. But we'll see if that works or not. We'll talk about that. So when this stuff happened, I responded with actions. So I wasn't trying to talk. I mean, I tried to talk to her a couple times, but I got interrupted by Kanye West. I'm not joking about that. I got interrupted by her mom a few times. I'm gonna go over each one. And I got interrupted by some people that I grew up with that came out of nowhere one day. I'm gonna tell you about each one of those three situations. I tried it 3 times. Once I hit the three time mark, I quit. Kanye was the last straw. I'm gonna get to that. First one was, I waited 4 hours for her in her car for her to get off work. And when she got off work, I wanted to talk to her. And as soon as I sat down in the car with her and I was getting ready to pour my heart out and explain everything, how I felt, her mom called. Mia literally, instead of like asking for more time to be out or saying that she's going to come home later, Mia was literally like, oh, well, let me tell you what happened. Mia's with me. She sits down in the car. As soon as we have to talk, I'm like, all right, look, it's about what happened the other day with your mom. Well, a couple months. It was a month ago. I was like, it's about what happened with your mom. Blah blah. As soon as I start speaking, the phone rings. Her mom's like, where you at? She's like, oh, I'm hanging out. I'm just out. She's like, oh, weren't you supposed to be at work? She's like, yeah, I got off early. She did get off early because she wanted to hang out with me. I wanted 2 hours. I asked her for 2 hours. She got off 2 hours early. Her mom said, where are you? She's like, I'm just out. Like, she's like, no, well, where are you? She's like, why are you asking? Like, I'm literally out. I'm gonna be home in like 2 hours. She's like, I want to know where you are, who you're with. She's like, I'm just out. I just got out. I went to my job. I picked up my check, and I'm out in front of my job. She's like, all right, well then come home. And I'm just looking at her like, you're 18 years old, my nigga, and you got off work early, and your mom's gonna make you come home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Are you kidding me, son? I'm looking at her like, no, not really that mean, just kind of like, are you dead ass? Are you dead ass right now? Sure enough, Mia choked it up and ended up just being her mom's bitch. Like, yep, I'm coming home. Now, it's not that I'm saying that you shouldn't obey your parents, but at the same time, if she was being real or being like she promised she would be, she would have just told her, no, I'm not coming. I'm going to come home in 2 hours, or I'm out with a friend, or I'm with my boyfriend. We can't hope for all that. But she could have said something along the lines to get a little bit more time. I really wanted to talk to her. I waited like a month to talk to her. So that was the first strike. I was like, all right. Second strike, we were in front of her friend's house. Now, I'm trying to talk to her about something mad serious. She took mad long to get to me. Why? Because her mother held her up. I'm waiting outside in the park for mad long. She finally comes. She comes to give her a big hug, and pretty much sitting there. And this guy over here is looking at me mad crazy. Hold on, let me spin it over this way. Look at this guy. See that guy right there? He got that stank face. But anyway, she's looking at me like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in mad long. Give her a big hug, I kiss her. I'm holding her, and my back's towards the parking lot. And my face is facing her, she's facing me, and some dude comes pulling up behind me mad quick. I'm like, I'm like, and mind you, I'm about to start talking to her. Same situation. I'm like, all right, yo, I'm holding her. I'm like, yo, I'm so glad I haven't seen you. This was 2 weeks later, by the way. I'm like, oh, man, I missed you so much. I got to tell you, I really need to talk about this situation. This is how I feel. As soon as I said this is how I feel, that happened. Turn around. No, before I turn around, I hear, yo, ma, yo, ma, yo, ma, yo, and a whistle. And I hear snickering. So I know there's two people behind me. I'm thinking, oh, damn, I'm going to have to end up fighting somebody. I don't play that shit. I'm like, damn, I'm going to end up having to throw the hands. I turn around, and he's like, oh, my bad. Yo, what up? Because there's somebody I know. Actually, it's one of my sister's. It was my sister's best friend's sister's future baby daddy. That's who it was. Now, anybody that really knows my whole family, knows my friends, you guys may be able to guess who that is. It's my sister's best friend's sister's future first baby daddy. No blast, no on blast, I'm just saying. So anyway, he pulled up. He comes up. He says that. I turn around and say, oh, what up, my bad. I thought you was somebody else. I'm like, so essentially what you thought was that you could just roll up on some random person in your town and just be hollering at their girl while they're holding their girl? He's like, yeah, you know how we keep it thug, my nigga. We keep it G. I'm like, that shit is stupid, my nigga. I'm like, yo, all right, whatever. So, I was like, whatever. It's all good, my nigga. But you gotta go, my nigga. I'm trying to do something here. He's like, oh, I got you. You got it. Got in the car, smiled and left. And I'm just like, she's looking at me like, oh, wow, you got pull in the hood. I'm like, no, I don't have pull in the hood. I know him, and I'm not about that bullshit. He did know that I don't play that disrespect stuff. Most people that in my hood, I don't really deal with them like that, but they know I don't play that shit, especially as I got older. He interrupted the second time. Right after he interrupted, she got off track and started telling me about, what was she talking about? She started telling me about something that was like important to her. It was really important to her, but it was something related to cosmetology because that's what she was doing. And I let her talk. I just let her. She was really going off about it too. I don't know. She was. I remember what it was. She was talking to me about how she wanted to get her hair kind of dyed red, but it wasn't what they call dye. It was like a washout. She wanted to get something, like, she was so excited about it, so I just let her talk about it. She talked about it for like 20 minutes, and then she had to go because her mom called again. So I was like, all right, that was strike 2. Now let that go. But after she was done talking, when I started talking, her mom called again. Strike 3 was Kanye. Same situation. We go back outside. I meet her back outside 2 weeks later. I don't know why I can only see her once every 2 weeks, but 2 weeks later, I meet her outside again. And we're talking. She gets a call from her mom. Mind you, at this point, I took her phone. I was like, give me your phone. I'm like, you're not talking on this phone until I get it back. I'm like, until I'm done telling you what I need to talk about. I'm like, this has been a month already. She's like, all right, here. She gave me her phone. I went to press, I turned the power, I held the power button for 3 seconds to turn it off, and I put it in my pocket. It didn't cut off. It was one of those Nextel 870s or something like that. You guys remember those? It was one of those. So it didn't cut off. It just didn't cut off. I think the power button was broken. Those things break all kinds of crazy. Long story short, I'm talking to her, phone starts ringing. I look, I'm like, damn, I thought I turned this shit off. It's her mom. Her mom, she gets the phone. She's like, yeah. She's like, guess who I'm sitting next to? She's like, who? She's like, I'm sitting next to Kanye West. My face goes, what? I said that out loud. She's like, what? She's like, oh, no, I was just saying, who are you sitting next to? She's like, I'm sitting next to Kanye West. I get this sour face on, like, I was hating. I was like, there's no way she's sitting next to Kanye West. I'm like, yo, put it on speaker. She puts it on speaker. Sure enough, her mom was sitting next to Kanye West on a plane and was talking to Mia. Small talk, nothing light, nothing crazy. But he's talking to her, and he spends like 10 minutes talking about absolutely nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, do you not realize, like, you'll never see this nigga, but yet you're going to have a 10-minute conversation with him for what? For what? Like, I'm just hating at this moment. I probably would have talked to him for 20 minutes. But they talk for like 10 minutes about nothing, and then eventually get off the phone, and that was it. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, and she's mad excited. She's like, oh, I talked to Kanye. That was crazy. I never thought I would have talked to him. I'm like, yeah, but, you know, all right. But mind you, I would have been the same way. But after that happened, she was just so hype about that. Oh, yeah. Mind you, her mom's on a plane. This is why I chose that day. So I'm trying to talk to her about that situation that day. And after she gets off the phone with Kanye, she's mad hype. We waste like 10 minutes because she's being mad hype. So already half an hour is gone. I'm starting to try to talk to her. I tell her, the first thing I tell her is, I'm like, yo, regarding that situation, everything that happened here with your mom and all that sort of stuff, I'm like, yo, I'm tired of dealing with this stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. She's like, I know. It's okay. It's all right. I'm like, no, but you really don't understand. She's like, no, I understand. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is real serious. Like, I can't keep doing this shit. I'm tired of doing that. Like, why do we have to keep dealing with this? I'm like, why can't you tell her? Oh, I'm going to let her know soon. Like, I just got to pick the right time. I'm like, you do understand we waited 3 years, right? So we're going back and forth. Back and forth. She keeps assuring me that it's okay. Everything's fine. It's going to be okay. I'm like, all right. And you know what I said to her? I remember exact words. I was like, all right, you fucking round. I'm like, all right, you do it if you want. I'm like, you say that now, but I'm telling you, yo, I don't want this happening again. So she's like, oh, yeah, we're all settled on that. We go about our day. So after that, I'm still feeling, because she blew me off kind of, I'm still feeling like she didn't really take the seriousness of the situation. She did this before. She same thing when I was homeless. She didn't take my situation serious. It's like, if a problem ain't her problem, it ain't a problem to her. You get what I'm saying? If she's good, then she's good. But if someone else is not good, she doesn't know how to care about the other person's issues because she hasn't really had that many issues. So it's a really messed up situation. But long story short, I started getting these thoughts like, yo, I'm tired of dealing with this. Maybe I'm with the wrong girl. Maybe I should have a contingency plan just in case this doesn't work. So I was thinking to myself, well, maybe I should just set up some stuff. And that's exactly what I did. Now, mind you, at this point, I should have broke up with her. If I felt like it wasn't going to work and I had to go set up some future stuff, that should have left it right then and there. If it was nowadays, I would have did that. But I didn't. So what I did was I just started getting things set up. And I'm going to tell you all the characters right now. First character, Misha. Called her up first. Got her in the loop. Wasn't doing anything with her or anything, but I just got her in the loop. Next girl was an Albanian chick that was friends with Myra. Myra was a girl that lived right off the park. She lived right off of that park where we would always be at. And Myra was the girl, remember, I'm not sure if I told you guys, but Myra is the girl where I went through Myra's yearbook and seen Mia and was like, who is that? That was the same girl. So I had Myra. I was talking to Myra. Myra has a friend named Mindy, who's an Albanian girl. I started trying to be cool with her because I was like, yo, this could be a good contingency plan. If I'm cool with her, I might be able to eventually get with her because I was attracted to her. And there was like another girl that was dating somebody else. So there was a girl named, hold on, how you doing? All right, so there was a girl named Mindy, there was Misha, and then there was who was that third person? There was three of them. I had made sure I had three. The third one was, damn, I can't remember. I really can't remember that. That's crazy. Anyway, there was a third. So what I did was essentially just had them kind of all on standby, but I was friendly with them, and I was being cool with them, but just chilling. And essentially I was telling myself, you know what, we're gonna give this one more shot. I'm gonna wait until the next situation happens with Mia. If she handles it right and she really steps up and does what she needs to do, then hey, we'll be okay. And that's how I was gonna leave it. So trying to think how, what if there's anything that happened before that actually situation happened. But we'll leave it at that, because that's a whole nother episode. Next thing that's also going on in my life right now is my living situation. Well, where I'm living with my dad. Now that shit sucked, and I'm going to explain a couple things about that. I needed to get a job, but it was months were going by. I got down there in pretty much January, the end of January. It's now April. No, it's past April. It's like May, and my dad's spazzing about me getting a job. So I'm sitting there, and I spent a lot of time over at my friend Charles's house. And me and Charles are sitting there talking one day, and we're like, yo, we need to get a job. He's looking through the newspaper. He finds something saying like, oh, Gap Warehouse is hiring. So we go and do an interview. We end up hearing from them about a half a month later. And so that puts us right in the middle of May. In the middle of May, I'm trying to get this job. My car is still working decently. My living situation, like I said, it just sucks. It sucks. It just sucks. It really sucks. Like, I don't have shit. There's never really anything to eat. I'm just always around, just surviving still. I'm not really seeing Toogie and Justin and Zis that much. The only person I really see is Charles. I go over to Charles' house and we pretty much play games all day. Different fighting games, Tekken, all that other good stuff. Long story short, June comes, I get the job. As soon as I get the job, I get my first paycheck. First paycheck was like $200. As soon as I get that paycheck, my father finds out, and I try to deny that I had a job. I was like, yeah, I don't have a job. Not yet, because I didn't have one until the day I get paid. That's when I have a job. When I get my first paycheck, I have a job. And until then, I don't have a job. So I get that first fucking paycheck. This nigga goes, and before I get into all this, let me just explain. I'm really cool with my dad now. He's good now. Everything's straight now. But this nigga was really on some next level shit during this whole situation. So that's just that's a little disclaimer. Like, he will get you like I said, I will be saying some things like, yo, he did this. But like I said, as of right now, he's good. We will get to that. But yeah, man, as soon as I got that first check, he was like, oh, this is what I'm gonna need you to do. I need you to pay rent. It's gonna be $400. What? That's exactly how I responded. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's gonna be $400. I'm like, $400, my nigga? I'm like, I don't have a room. There's never food in the refrigerator, ever. Very rarely he would make an actual meal, but he would go out and get the things that he was gonna make the meal with that night and then come home and make it. So that would happen maybe twice a week, maybe. And if I'm not home to be there to get it, I'm not gonna get anything. It may be leftovers, but very solid, not very much. But yeah, nigga said $400, and I was just like, yeah, that's crazy. And then I needed to get my car registered too, as well. I need to get like my license plate switched over from Virginia to New York. So he did that. He did that under his name, I believe, as far as insurance. And the nigga also told me that same day that my insurance was going to be like $200 a month. So essentially, I would need to give him out of the money I made every paycheck, I had to give him almost $600. And that became a problem because that was bullshit. I didn't even have my own room. And the first time we found out this was a problem is when I brought Mia over the house. And we're gonna pick up what happens with that next time y'all see me. It's your boy Aces Galvin. It's been episode 22 of my life story, and I'll holler at y'all soon. Stick around for that next one though, because it's about to get real. Everything's about to change. Everything's really about to change. So I just wanted to get y'all set up mentally with me, let y'all know what the hell's going on, how I feel about things. And next episode, we're really going to get into, that work, all right? All right, it's your boy. One.